All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Welcome, everyone, to our podcast, 3 Cocktails In, where addicting conversations between friends who've been there, done that, and still want more. And we're back,
Yeehaw.
right?
Yeehaw.
Yes. How about, what did we all do for the week? Anything real exciting? You have exciting news? Anybody?
It just goes so dang fast.
Yes.
I would like to offer up an idea, if I could. See, today we're recording on the day that daylight savings time ends. And I love it. I love it a lot. To me, there's nothing better than waking up in the morning and realizing, oh, I'm ahead of schedule. Now, I didn't like it so much really when I was shutting down work, but I think we should rename this Amy's favorite day of the year.
Oh,
This is your favorite day. There's nothing better.
Right up there.
Oh my gosh. So what happens in the spring when we have to spring forward? How about that
I
day?
am a raving bitch. I hate that day.
Yes.
It is, I think I've already said, we joked, I'm not the morning person. I mean, I'm okay, but I'm not getting up at 5. Not getting up at 5. A good time is like 7 and laying there till 7:30. And then, taking my time.
mhm.
So today was wonderful.
Well, how
Woke
about,
up before the alarm went off.
yeah, it's nice in the fall. Well, how about we take a vote? Would we all prefer we just leave it? I would prefer we just leave it. No.
But what does that do for us?
You mean moving back and forth or leaving it?
No, leaving it.
Nothing. Then we just don't have to change. You don't have to have a good day and a bad day of the year. It's just stays the
I
same.
say split
There's
the
no
difference.
point.
I say split the difference and leave it all year round.
Well, I don't think we can go a half an hour. I don't know. Maybe we could. Yeah, whatever. I just think you pick one and leave it. I don't care which one.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Because we're not saving any daylight, really. What's the difference if it's, more dark in the morning or more dark in the afternoon? It doesn't matter to me. I don't think it matters to anybody anymore.
So
Not
right
anymore.
now it is 7:45 p.m. and
Yes.
we have not changed any of our clocks yet. I love looking at the clock and knowing that it's actually an hour earlier. And I'm going to do that until I go to bed tonight. Then we'll change the clocks. I mean, except for looking at my phone. But, because we have an actual clock in our bedroom,
Yes.
in the kitchen, on the oven. I'm leaving them until tonight because it's like you just said, Amy, it's a gift of time.
Yes.
When do we get a gift of time? We never get a gift of time except for this day.
That's true.
Yeah.
See, isn't it worthy of celebration?
I think so.
Sure, today,
Yes.
but I just keep thinking of that spring day that we're not going to like. That it'd be easier to stay.
No sense in worrying down the road. Be present, Stacey.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. How about what are we drinking today? I have my white wine again.
I'm drinking my Sauv Blanc.
I'm having a Pinot Noir, Pikes Road.
Oh, we all have wine tonight. That's nice.
Yes. It better not be a whiny episode. Sorry.
We'll try not to make it a whiny episode.
No, this is going to be a fun one. This is
I know, I'm
fun
excited.
tonight.
I think so. I'm going to start a little different though, and I'm sure you'll all be worried, but not really. I want to do it a little backwards, at least to start. I want to say to all of our friends who have been watching our podcast or listening to our podcast, a big thank you. And I wanted to say that at the top of the show instead of when we usually do it at the bottom of the show. So, first, I wanted to say that. Also, we're asking for some favors. If you've watched on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you are on Facebook and notice us there, please share, some posts. Please, um, like our pages, follow our Three Cocktails In page, um,
Yeah.
leave us a review. I posted some information about that today. So that would be a huge help to us and our podcast.
Yeah.
Spread the
Agreed.
joy.
Spread the joy.
Yeah,
We've gotten the sweetest messages from people, which is really
Yes.
nice.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah.
that. It makes us smile. It makes us feel really good about what we're doing, especially when we hear people say that I've been thinking about that. That was super meaningful. Thank you for raising that topic. And so it'd be great to be able to make those comments public because it helps our rankings. And let's be honest,
Right.
we want to push this out. We want to get this to more people. So
We do. So every
Yeah.
time you do things like that, your friends that we don't know see it, and that
Yeah.
helps us out. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Good.
Okay. Well, today's episode, we are going to take a little trip down memory lane, maybe a little bit about some pop culture, but mostly revolving around the TV shows we've watched over the years. And we might even get to what we're watching today.
Mhm.
So first, a little nostalgia. What are the TV shows that you both watched when you were little, young, early on?
Well, I have vivid memories around this. Vivid. So I'd have to do the math to know exactly how old I was. But when you asked that question, and I knew we were going to talk about that tonight, I immediately went back to, it must have been grade school, watching, and I don't know, I want to say it was Saturday night, back to back, Love Boat and Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Those were good ones.
Were you guys watching that too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. For
Oh,
sure.
yes.
Oh,
Yes. With,
God, it was
and,
so good.
Julie, the cruise director, and Gopher, the gopher, basically,
Yes.
didn't want his job.
Yes. I had no idea that was a job we could have, cruise director or whatever Julie was.
Mhm.
Thought, wow,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah, why didn't we ever look at those TV shows as career options?
Right. I know.
That's a good question.
Shit, living in the middle of Iowa and South Dakota, didn't see a big ocean.
No.
Didn't see a big,
No.
didn't
No.
see a cruise ship ever.
No.
I don't think I knew anybody that went on a cruise.
No.
Yeah.
Not at that time.
No.
I'm trying to think if I even was on a fishing boat in elementary school, middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
No.
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 But
Probably
then,
not.
so then every once in a while when those come on, like TV Land, whatever that station is, if you ever just randomly catch those episodes, I have to sit down and watch it. And the entire time I am cringing I'm just cringing by it. It's like, how was this entertaining?
Yes.
They're so bad.
Yes. They're very bad. Even the, look of it and, I don't know, cinematology, whatever that is. Yeah. Is so bad, you
Yeah.
know. Yep.
Okay. I have a few that I loved, but when you're talking about looking back, one that I forgot about that I just adore, that I always watch whenever it's on, is Bewitched. Loved Bewitched. Loved
Yeah.
Bewitched. And here's a funny little story. So when my girls were probably elementary school, there was also a show on probably Bravo or TLC, one of those, and it was about this Tabitha's Takeover, and it was this hard-ass hair cutter who would go into these dying salons and take them over and teach them all how to do it the right way. Okay, blonde woman, little pixie haircut. Okay, so, but when the girls were little, we went up to Trisha's cabin up in the Brainerd area. Thank you very much, Trisha, for sharing that with us. And as every good cabin up north had, we had a TV with VHS tapes. For people who are young, those are the big things that had the wheels in it and the tape would, yeah. Anyway, Bewitched was on. And so we put it on and the girls were enjoying it. And Ava looks at me, she goes, is that Tabitha, the one that grows up to cut hair?
Oh.
She got the little itty bitty girl from 1962.
Yeah.
You know, the witch grew up and was on the Tabitha show. So I don't know. Those things still appeal to me. The other ones that I always were, my mom loved Little House on the Prairie. And as an adult, I could go to her house and visit her for the weekend. And I know that if Little House on the Prairie is on, she was going to be watching it. So I had my mom on that end. And then I had my dad, who loved Saturday Night Live. And this is how weird my family was. This is when Charlie's Angels was on. My parents would not allow me to watch Charlie's Angels.
Really?
We watched three women who were kicking some ass. They were wearing scantily clad clothing, evidently. So I couldn't watch Charlie's Angels, but my dad let me stay up and watch Saturday Night Live. That was in the old days with like Chevy Chase and Jane Curtin, and I distinctly remember them doing the news and Chevy just saying, Jane, you ignorant slut. First of all, I didn't even know what that word was in seventh grade.
Yeah.
But I watched those, and that has turned out to be my sense of humor. Not that I call people that, but that was always something that I'm like, how is this okay? And I think it was because my mom went to bed early and she didn't probably watch very much of the show.
Yeah.
But that was a big deal that I got to watch Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
I had no clue about Charlie's Angels, but I got to watch the adult humor.
We did that too. I mean, we were allowed to watch that as well. And I remember going and having sleepovers at my grandparents. My mom's mom, Grandma Jen, she would always stay up with me, and we would lay on the couch together and we would watch Saturday Night Live. Okay, Amy, I remember another show that your dad loved.
Which one was that?
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, yes. Loved Pee-wee's Playhouse. Loved Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Which was so ridiculous.
We are a classy lot.
Right.
With Miss Cherry and who else was it? I mean, I have a nephew.
Watched it.
What? You never watched it?
Never watched it.
Wait a minute. Let's clarify. You have never watched an episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse, or you never watched it back then?
I've never watched an episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Blows my mind. Kitty, it's
Stacey,
your type of humor.
Yeah. I watched it back then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. His dancing, his little skinny pants and silly show.
It was, now that I think about it, I wonder if it wasn't one of the very first kids shows that had the adult humor to it.
Yeah.
Like, when we had kids, and then they started watching things like Toy Story, and some of those movies that had the adult humor in it made it much more enjoyable for both parents and kids. Because I'm sure that if I watch Pee-wee's Playhouse now, there'd be a whole bunch of stuff that I'd be going like, oh my God, had no idea. But at the time, it just was funny. And Alf. My dad loved Alf. You guys remember that show?
I do.
About the,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I tell you,
I
dear
know.
old Fred, wackadoo. My dad was
Yeah.
out there.
I was to just say he had a funny taste if he liked those. Who knew? I didn't know that.
Yep. What were you watching, Stacey?
Oh gosh. I came up with this really weird one that the only reason I remember it because I think it was a Saturday morning show and we, me and my brothers would fight over which show we're watching. And I always wanted to watch this Lost, what is it called? Land of the Lost.
Oh,
I
Okay.
loved that show. With
I did
Slee
too.
Stack, the Slee
Yes,
Stacks?
the Sleeve Stack. So I looked that up. I Googled that this afternoon. It was this, big green lizard man kind of thing. It had weird, and the whole premise of this show was so silly, like, and why I'm going to make a joke. The dad and the kids get lost in the jungle and fall into this something, into the land of lost. And I think, well, if the mom would have been there, they sure as heck wouldn't have gotten into that predicament. They could never get out of the land of the lost. So, it was fun. Yeah, so we used to fight over what we were going to watch. And I remember fighting for that one, but I don't know. Silly show.
That's funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's a question for you guys. Did you ever watch All Star Wrestling?
No,
No.
but I watched, let me think if I can get the name right. It was that celebrity challenge where
Oh.
they'd have to like put the refrigerator on their back or pull a truck or lift. What was that? What was that called?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Something,
Oh, it's going to come to me.
something of the
It's gonna come to
celebrity
me.
stars or something.
Yes.
Challenge of the
Yes.
stars. I don't know.
Yes. I remember watching that, and Lou Ferrigno, who was the Hulk at the time, blew his knee out with a refrigerator on a dolly. And they had that on TV because nobody had, they didn't have the delay. I'm like,
my
okay,
gosh.
medicine's out for me. Not an
Wow.
option.
That's
So,
an
Kitty,
interesting one.
tell me, you and your sister and your dad, who was into theater and English, sat around and watched All-Star Wrestling?
Yes, and I think my mom probably did too. We would come home from church. It was always Sunday at noon. We'd come home from church, change clothes, make lunch, and park ourselves in front of the TV. And we watched All Star Wrestling and Greg Gagne and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and Baron von Raschke.
Oh my.
Mad Dog Vachon.
No wonder you were so excited. Do you remember when you and I and Bill and Kevin went out to dinner in Uptown and we came out and there was the WW All-Star Wrestling ring right in the parking lot?
Yes, that's right.
Kitty, as she did often, tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, get us up front." Because evidently I'm the snowplow.
You're the one that had to do it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had no idea that you watched that stuff.
No, that's funny.
So did you know it was fake then?
I don't think I did. I don't think or if I did, I sort of denied it. I wanted it to be real.
Right.
I hear you.
Because every once in a while there was blood.
Oh. Yeah.
Well then.
So as we got a little older, I remember watching Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. That was the two that I watched. When would that have been? Would we have been in middle school? Elementary school? I mean, we're talking 4 channels, people.
Yeah.
3 main TV channels and then the local, PBS.
I wouldn't say we were a lot older. Junior high, maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah, that's a GTS situation.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm, more adult, like say early adult. How about that? We all watched Friends.
Oh, yes. That's kind of what started this whole remembrance of shows was the passing of Matthew Perry and how much that was a mainstay for a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of us.
Mhm.
That,
Yeah.
prior to reruns, you had to watch it. And there were that's when seasons were 22 shows long,
Mhm.
and so that's what was on. Loved watching Friends.
Yeah.
I cried at the last episode. I hated that it was over, because it's true that you become so attached to these characters.
Yeah.
You feel like
Yep.
you know them.
Yeah.
So the question is,
Yeah.
which one of the characters did you most associate yourself with?
Oh, jeez.
Hmm. That's a good question.
Yeah. You got to pick one.
We do?
Dang, I don't
Yes.
think I've ever
Yeah.
even thought about this.
I don't either. I don't know that, that kind of show at the time, I don't know that I would have identified identified with many of them. I don't think so. How about you? Since you're asking, do you have one?
Well, not Phoebe, because she's my favorite character on the whole show. I just loved her. But that would not have been me. As much of not really a free spirit, but with all the changes and stuff that I've made and kind of going out and doing these things now, I'm a little bit more Phoebe-like. But I think that it's probably Monica, which I would never have thought. But she is, she was control freak. I have been a control freak for a bazillion years, and I've been working very hard on giving all that up. Except when it comes to cleaning. I'm no Monica when it comes to cleaning. I'm a Rachel when it comes to cleaning. I could care less.
Yeah.
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 And we all, for a period of time, probably watched, daytime soaps, even nighttime soaps. I was thinking of that when you talked about the last Friends episode. The last Dallas episode, I think, was a big deal. I remember that, ending, and everybody was like,
Who shot JR?
Yeah. Right?
I think I remember that as being one of the first cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. It was that
ending the season.
Mm-hmm.
They were really good at the cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you guys, Laverne and Shirley ran from 1976 to 1983.
Okay.
Yeah, so middle school.
Yeah. Junior high to high school. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Kitty, do you remember at college, after lunch, what happened?
Yep. The cult following for Days of Our Lives was unbelievable. And I would even say that there were more dudes gathering around the TV in the dive than girls.
Oh, yeah. And we're talking football players, athletes. Matter of fact, it might have been the one commonality between all the different groups. I mean, not all, but majority of people who would not have hung out together. So it was the big common area on campus connected to the cafeteria, because there was only one cafeteria. And they had really nice, comfortable couches and tables, and they had free popcorn and all sorts of stuff. So people would go, and you could walk in and somebody would start talking and they'd shush you. People would just downright tell you to zip it, because they were into Days of Our Lives, which, same characters, I think, are still on it. Oh, Kitty, then remember I'm sorry, but remember when you went to New York and you were convinced that you ran into a high school classmate?
Yep.
You need to share that story.
Yes. So this is a really good example of how attached we get to people and how familiar they are when we spend so much time with them on screen and, them in character. So when I was in my very first sales job, my territory was the Northeast. So I was traveling all the time, and I spent the most amount of time in New York City. So I'd be in New York for about a week out of every month. And for a long time, I would always stay at the DoubleTree that was right at the main intersection of Times Square. And so it was only a few blocks from Radio City. And so one week I was there and I'm walking through the lobby, and this guy's walking toward me, very handsome man. And, you know, we're walking toward each other. So you look at each other, and I know that guy. I know that. Do I know him from high school or do I know him from college? And we just did the little, you know, head nod thing. To just, you know, the equivalent of like when you're driving and you just put the one finger up from the steering wheel. We did that and we passed. And then it was just a little bit later. I'm like, that's not somebody from high school or college. That's Nick from the Young and the Restless, for God's sake. And it all came together because the daytime Emmys were happening at Radio City. So all these soap stars were staying
around
in the hotel.
Sure.
I felt so stupid, but then I felt, oh, missed opportunity.
For sure.
I love it.
Oh,
I
that's
think
funny.
that's so
But
good.
it's a really good how you get so close to people. So another show that I absolutely adored was Family Ties. Did you guys ever watch Family Ties?
Yes.
Yep.
I liked that. Yep.
And what I love about that was, so that was early career for Michael J. Fox and Courtney
Yes.
Cox. And
He was
and
girlfriend
that
number
was
2,
another
though,
one.
right?
What?
Never mind. Go on.
Yeah, that was another one that I cried at the last episode because it was on. I don't know how many seasons it was on, but it was on for a while. These, you know, people grew up on that show. And so same thing. So one time I was taking a train from DC to Manhattan, and I'm in, I think we were in the first class car of Amtrak, and guess who I shared the first class car with? Michael J. Fox and his family.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah. And this was before he became ill. And so, you know, my colleague and I are sitting there, and he's sitting, you know, a little ways up with his family. And at one point he got up and walked down the aisle with his daughter, and same thing. We made the eye contact and did the, but I wanted to say, hey, how you doing? Just like he would know who I am.
Right. Right.
You know? So, it's love. Yeah. But you're right. What sort of rose this topic was the unfortunate passing of Matthew Perry. And there's just so much sadness right now around that.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of sadness and shows, I remember being married. So let's skip ahead a few years. Married, home with 2 kids. Kevin would probably once a week he'd stay and work late. And it usually turned out to be a Thursday night, which was, you know, kind of the must-see TV night. And I remember watching the show 30-something. You guys remember watching 30-something?
Yes.
We were, let's see, I had to have been 20, maybe I was just home with Madeline, 27.
Yeah, I think we were in our 20s when that
well, I
came
know
out.
I had a child.
Yep.
I know I had one child.
Yep.
So, but I would watch the show, and it was so drama heavy.
Yeah.
All these married couples, somebody was having an affair, their business was going under, somebody's child was ill. They were just so drama, and it was just so heavy. Kevin would come home and he would say something, and I'd be so upset about it, and I would just be like so overly dramatic, and he just got to the point where he looks at me, he's like, "Are you watching that TV show again?" I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
He's like, quit imagining that their problems are our problems.
Yeah.
Because they weren't at all. I had no reason. It was just one of those where I just felt like, oh man, this is how life must be when you're this age.
Right.
I'm surprised that you watched that, Amy, because you don't like to cry.
No, I know. Right?
Yeah.
Usually we're kind of drawn to maybe the same genre usually, don't you think? Because
Mm.
I do all of the, and always have all of the doctor and medical shows. So,
Oh, okay.
way back would have been like say Saint Elsewhere and Doogie Howser. ER was probably one of my favorites,
Yep.
obviously, because George Clooney was in it.
Yep.
Up to Grey's Anatomy, which has gone on for years and years. I've seen all of those, to even some of the newer ones, New Amsterdam. I like that. Just seems like that's the genre I
Will you go to?
pick. Yep.
I am cops and lawyers.
Oh,
Cops and lawyers and whodunit. And for me, it was Homicide, Life on the Streets, which is the precursor to all of those shows. Law and Order, but I'm a purist. I really only liked the original Law and Order. I don't care for SVU, none of those. I don't need to watch the gory shit. I liked just the regular Law and Order.
sure.
I watched Burn Notice. Did you ever watch Burn Notice?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that I got to watch with Madeline and Georgia. Ava she never sat to watch TV, but Madeline and Georgia and I loved watching Burn Notice, because if you have not watched that show, you need to go watch it. You need to find it somewhere. I don't know where it is, but a spy, his sassy, badass girlfriend, his mom, who was a little bit out there, those, which still goes into now, watch all the British mysteries and cops, Vera and Shetland and Endeavour and all of those. I don't know, maybe I thought at some point I was going to lead a life of crime and I would need to know how to get out of these situations. I'm not quite sure. Which now I got to ask, what are the lessons that you've learned? Because I got one lesson that I have always remembered from one episode of Homicide, and it was the cop that gave the advice. You get pulled over and you get taken in, lawyer up. Lawyer up, lawyer up, lawyer up. Don't say anything, lawyer up.
Are you planning on getting arrested?
No, I'm not planning on it, but does anybody ever plan on getting arrested?
No.
No, I'm just saying that, I learned something from all of those shows. And I want to share that with you.
Good.
Stacey, do you know how to do any medical procedures based on all of your viewing of medical documents?
I know. You would think that I could play a doctor in real life after all of it, but no. I remember the one where in ER, I think Anthony Edwards had a brain tumor or something, and he could only smile with half his face. That's how they knew. But I don't even know if that's factual. Don't know.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that
I
useful?
feel like I could maybe do a tracheotomy based on watching The Heat.
Jam in the
That
pen.
did not go very well for her, so I'm
jam
not sure that you should emulate that.
I think you could do it.
Such a good movie.
I love that movie.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
So am I the only one that
I don't know that I can articulate a lesson that I learned from any of these shows. They were just pure entertainment.
Yes.
They were just escapes from, not that I needed an escape from my life, but they were just a way to unwind. And I think that's why we love going to movies, that you can just go and immerse yourself in a different world.
Sure.
Put yourself into a different storyline.
Sure. Yep.
Have you guys gone back to rewatch anything or see if stuff holds up, or
how does it hold up?
Holds up. I know. That would be interesting. My son, they don't watch any new show. So I can't remember why, but they always they want to watch like the whole entire, 6, 7 seasons of a show instead of have to wait every week
Yeah.
to watch something,
Oh,
which is
oh,
interesting way to do it. I don't know.
instant gratification.
Evidently. Yeah.
A number of years ago, when I was traveling with the quilts company, going to trade shows, we'd come home from a long day on the show floor, we'd go eat something really good, and then all I wanted to do was go lay on my bed. So I'd bring my little Kindle with me. And I decided to watch the entire series of West Wing again. I loved that show.
Yeah.
But
That was good.
it was in the middle of having kids, and I couldn't catch every episode. And I realized there were many that I liked. There were over 186 episodes. It took me like 6 weeks, but I watched the entire collection again. And I have to say, I loved it just as much the second time as I did the first. And from that, I'd like to watch, what is it, The Diplomat, that's out now with Kerry Russell. There's been some other ones in between.
That was you stole my what were you going to say? Suggestion. That was my suggestion.
That was a suggestion of yours?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I love
really
that.
liked it.
Me too. Oh, Madam Secretary. I watched all of that. I never watched that the first time through. I went and pulled that whole thing up. And also, it's really nice to watch them streaming because there's no commercials, and you realize that's
Right.
when they made shows that were like 32 minutes long.
Yeah.
You can get 2 or 3 of those in one night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is good.
Did either of you watch Mad Men when it was out?
I did not.
Oh, was that Helen Hunt? No, Mad Men. Mad Men.
No.
I was thinking of Mad About You.
John Hamm.
Mad Men. I think I started it, and then I got so damn annoyed with the misogynist behavior that I had to stop watching it.
Okay. I was looking at maybe watching that, but I don't need that then.
Well, I mean, I think now looking back, Elizabeth Moss,
Yeah.
unbelievable actress.
Right.
And I do think she gets hers in the end. I mean, no, I shouldn't say it like that. She gets to give as well as she,
Right.
Yeah.
And I like her so much in The Handmaid's Tale that's kind of why I noticed it. But I don't know.
Kitty, what do you watch now?
Well, we were late to the game on Schitt's Creek for one thing.
Oh.
And we were late to the game for Ted Lasso.
Oh,
and
2 excellent shows.
Oh my God, we binged them both, and now we've gone back and watched them both again. Just simply because, again, it is just so lighthearted, and we just laugh. We laugh out loud, and we'll recite lines back to each other when we're not watching it. It's just, I don't understand when I have mentioned like Schitt's Creek to somebody, and they'll say, "Yeah, I couldn't get into it." I'm like, "Try it again. Power through that first season. I guarantee you will love it." I think you have
to get through like the first 4 episodes, because I didn't understand what was going on, but I hated that Roland Schitz.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so annoying, especially those first couple episodes. I'm like, no, I am not going to watch him. But, those first 4, I'd agree. It was a little bit of a challenge, but then I loved it. I love that show. And you're right. I mean, Moira is like, she's everything.
Yeah.
Very funny.
I think the character development in that series is incredible.
Yeah.
Just how those characters unfolded and how the family came together. We won't be spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, but that, and also with Ted Lasso, it was interesting to watch the characters develop in that too, and it like comes all the way back around. And I've wholeheartedly believed that Ted Lasso should be seen by every corporate leadership team in America. There are so many leadership lessons to be shared in that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good recommendation. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I know you two have. I haven't seen it.
It
Oh,
is. Do you have Apple TV?
Nope, that's why.
It is absolutely worth $7.99 a month.
Yeah.
yes. And also with the Apple TV, you're going to get a watch Only Murders in the Building, also super good, and Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon and Billy
Yeah.
Crudup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good
Yeah.
recommendation. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go to that. How about what are we recommending for our fans to watch?
So is this going to be our 3 shots?
This will be our 3 shots. Yep, I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to think about it here for just a minute, but I'm going to recommend something in the cop lawyer genre
Okay.
because that's kind of my thing.
Okay. Kitty, do you want to go first or you want me to?
You.
I can. Amy mentioned what was it? Now I forgot.
The Diplomat.
The Diplomat, yes, The Diplomat. Okay, so HBO Max, I just got done watching The Last of Us, which I liked for reasons other than it's a zombie apocalypse movie. If you can get past that part, I liked the characters. I really got into, like, we didn't talk about Sex in the City before, but the new Sex in the City reboot called And Just Like That, I loved it too. I think there's 2 seasons of that. So those are good. The Bridgerton season 3 is coming out. That'll be great. But if you missed the spinoff to Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte, I liked that even better. So
Like
there
that
you go.
one too.
Here's my Rex.
Okay.
What do you got, Kitty?
Well, so a couple things come to mind. Did you guys ever watch Revenge?
Oh, is that with Kerry Washington?
Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
it's
Blonde woman. So this is not new. And I'm not even sure if where you can find it right now, but it's worth finding. It was one of the first series that Bill and I got into. It's just called Revenge, and I think it might have gone 3 seasons. And it's about a woman who, and I'm not going to give anything away for a pretty significant reason, needs to get revenge on a lot of people. And it's masterful. It's absolutely masterful how she does it. So that's good. And then can I also recommend a movie?
sure.
Just a good old movie. And this is a 1998 movie. Did you guys ever watch Simon Birch?
Yeah. I don't know if I watched it or if I read the book. Was it based on a book?
Simon Birch is based on A Prayer for Owen Meany.
Yes, that's what I read. Yep.
John Irving's A Prayer for Owen Meany. It's loosely based on that. And so it's this boy who's born small and believes that God has a plan for him. And it is such a good movie for so many reasons. It's good for kids. It's good for adults. Jim Carrey is in it. Ian Michael Smith plays little Simon Birch. And it's heartwarming. It's emotional. You'll cry. It's so damn good. And I recommend that movie to anybody. I'm sure you can find that on Netflix.
Oh yeah. We might have to have a whole nother episode about movies.
Mm-hmm.
We might do that.
Yeah.
Okay, Amy, what do you have?
Okay, so I'm going to double down on Burn Notice. It is a prime example of like 2010-ish. I think it was right around there, 2010 TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a spy. It's about somebody who just has to make things happen with nothing available to him. So it's set in Miami. It's sexy, well-dressed, MacGyver type things, but good. So I like that one. If you haven't watched it, go find that one, especially for Fiona. We love Fiona. And then the other one, if you are into British, if you like the Law and Order and you like whodunits and you like those type of series, BBC, it's not PBS, BritBox, one of those. I know you can find them on Amazon Prime. My favorite, I think, I have two. I can't choose. Endeavor and Vera. Both of them. Vera is based on books by Anne Cleves, I believe. Nope, that's Shetland. Maybe it's the same woman, same author. But Vera is crotchety old woman who is super smart and a little bit of a recluse, and she's got some of her own shit going on, but she, about every 4 shows they solve the crime. So I love both of those. She's not an Agatha, she's not a Miss Marple, she's not one of those. It's of the time. So those are my 3. Burn Notice, Endeavor, and Vera.
Cool.
Good, Rex.
Those are good ones. Okay.
So I'm really curious to know what other shows listeners loved growing up, and what they think we should watch right now. What should we go and see?
Yeah, I hope we get a ton of comments on, I watched this. Did you watch that? Or, give us some ideas, give all your friends some ideas, that kind of thing.
I think we were very respectful this episode too, because usually we could give each other a lot of shit about the stuff that we pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were respectful.
Yeah. Right.
You didn't even really jump on Kitty about the whole WWE thing and
I
how
know.
that was the Hart family affair.
Yeah, we just kind of let that pass. It's like, seriously, wow.
Have I never told you that before?
No.
I didn't know that.
Because we would have discussed that one before.
Oh, yes. Yes. So here's our chance. We're making fun of you for watching that. Yes.
Okay.
We didn't get into any reality shows either. Some are just, I don't know, so cringy, but
that's actually Kitty's favorite genre of TV.
I think it is.
Probably. Yeah. Did you watch all the Survivors? There would have been years. I don't watch it anymore, but I bet I watched 10 years of that, or 10 seasons. I can't remember how, or more, and could name off who won each season for a while.
Yeah.
I watched about 2 episodes of Naked and Afraid. That was not for me.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No. Why? Why does anyone need to be naked?
That's my point too. It's bad enough being out there anyway, but why must they be naked? I don't understand.
Because you don't get to see anything. All you see is, not get to, but it's not like you're just seeing the little things, fuzzed out.
Well,
so
from the ones I watched, you maybe don't want to either, but
well, that's kind of always the case, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we wrap. That was a good show. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone's enjoying all of our podcasts. We get kind of goofy sometimes. Sometimes we have some pretty serious conversations. You just never know what you might get.
Hey, this is fellowship.
Yep.
Yes. For sure.
Hanging with friends.
Okay.
Yep, as one does. What else do we do?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a good week, ladies.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Play that music.
We'll dance our way out.
Yeah. Okay, that's
all right. Ooh. Look, I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop, I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top, I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration, let me in. Brought a good time plus some friends. Turn it up loud past 10. Turning up the crowd when I hit 'em.